Fantasy Football Week 5 matchups to exploit. Young WRs and RBs to start. Here are some promising matchups for Week 5, featuring young wide receivers and running backs poised to make an impact. Wide receivers. Rome Odunze vs. Carr. Last week, 1 catch for 10 yards. Matchup, facing the Panthers, who ranked 31st in pass rush. With Caleb Williams likely to have time to throw, Odunze should capitalize on Carolina's defense, allowing the 6th most passing yards per play. Recommendation: start him confidently this week. Brian Thomas Jr. vs. Ind. Current standing: 12th in efficiency among rookies. Performance: at least 10 fantasy points in 3 of 4 games. Despite Trevor Lawrence's struggles, Thomas has emerged as a reliable target. Matchup: the Colts have allowed opposing number 1 outside receivers to average 100.5 yards per game. Recommendation: start him against a vulnerable Colts defense. Dontayvion Wicks vs. Lar. Role: expanded opportunity with Christian Watson out. Last week, led the Packers with 13 targets and scored 2 touchdowns. Matchup: the Rams allow the most passing yards per play, with multiple receivers hitting 130-plus yards against them. Recommendation: start Wicks with confidence. Josh Downs vs. Jax. Last week, 9 targets, 8 catches, 82 yards, 1 TD. Trend: leading target share in both games this season. Matchup: Jaguars rank among the worst in passing defense, having recently given up 345 yards and 2 TDs. Recommendation: start Downs regardless of who's at quarterback. Running backs. Najee Harris vs. Dahl. Last week, 19 rushing yards on 13 carries, limited by offensive line issues. Usage: averaging 20 opportunities per game. Matchup: the Cowboys allow the 2nd highest EPA per rush attempt. Recommendation: start Harris, especially if he gets more carries with injuries impacting his teammates. Jerome Ford vs. Was. Last week, 17 touches for 85 yards. Usage: played 77% of snaps and handled 71% of carries. Also ranks 3rd in RB targets. Matchup: Commanders allow the 2nd most rushing yards per play. Recommendation: start Ford, who's been solid and has a favorable matchup. Conclusion: these players are primed for strong performances in Week 5 based on their matchups and recent trends. Consider them valuable additions to your starting lineup as you navigate the challenges of bye weeks.